Hello, Leon. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you very much. I
Leon,
hope you do.
could you be so kind and make a very short summary of last sweet cherry season in Europe? What was the main challenges? What was the situation in your point of view?
Yeah. Situation was as follows. We see over the last years, we see that flowering comes earlier. Whether that's a climate change forever or just a phase that we go through, bottom line is that we see the flowering time coming earlier. So what we see is that, we get in February, early March, we get warm weather, buds start moving, and everything starts off much earlier. Then suddenly in April, May, bang, we get suddenly the spring frost again. So this year, unfortunately for some, but certainly also in Poland and also in parts of Ukraine, spring frost was again the biggest problem. There was not just a problem in Central Europe and Eastern Europe, also in Belgium. Even also some parts in the southeast of England, more parts in Europe were affected again by spring frost. And this is something, with an expensive crop to grow as cherries, it's actually something we have to try and eliminate as much as possible. And this is also the key thing for future cherry growing. How to overcome this big issue of more climate related problems. Sales-wise, the season, I would say, has gone very well. I think it was partly due to the limited amounts of fruit available in Europe, and the quality in general was good. Also, in outdoor crops, the quality was good as a result of a rather dry summer. Season was long. When we talk about the early cherry production coming into end of May, we were lucky in the UK. We had our last cherries from Scotland the last couple of days from September. Mm. So it was a long season and in general, but problems with spring frost.
Yeah, Leon, you said that weather is, challenge number one. But if you see the other challenges growers are confronted, it will be probably first labor. Second will be problem with much more, insects and less available product to control.
Okay, I will reply to both. First, about the labor availability. Certainly in the United Kingdom, this is a scary moment now because of Brexit, and we don't know how we will be able to source enough people from the European Union, because we are not European Union anymore, from the 1st of January. That's one thing. But also, again, in the Netherlands and Belgium, it's not only just about the availability of labor, but also the cost price of labor just keep going up. So, what can we do against that? I think all we can do is actually try to develop systems that allow much more mechanization, that will actually increase the performances of the labor involved. So we can increase the picking performances, we get more uniformity of the fruit. This is all challenging. I think it's more challenging in Western Europe than in Poland. But labor availability is just a big problem, big issue for the future. And the price of labor. About insects and about spraying in the cherries, I remember the days when the cherry spray program was very straightforward, was only a couple of sprays. It was actually cheap crop to spray, not very expensive. Over the last couple of years, of course, the spraying of the cherries, the spray program, certainly insecticide program, has changed dramatically. Due to the Suzuki fly that has become now as one of the most dangerous, most challenging pests in cherry growing, but also in plum growing. So we work now. It's also very difficult with the limited amount of chemicals available. Also, there's less and less chemicals coming on the market. more actually we're losing than actually gaining new chemicals. The strategy now basically is divided over three parts. It's one part is, when we talk about the Suzuki fly, is mass trapping around the orchard, trying to catch as many Suzuki flies before they actually enter the orchards. Second thing is also we see more and more Suzuki netting in covered orchards. And then the third one is actually, to work with an insecticide program that's sustainable. So working with an insecticide program with enough variations, with different mode of actions to avoid resistance. And also avoiding resistance becomes more difficult because we have less chemicals available. So the chances of building up resistance on one chemical becomes more a chance that will happen. So therefore, it's not just the chemical approach, it's also the approach of the mass trapping and the netting of the orchards.
Okay, Leon, thank you very much for this very brief but very interesting summary. I think it will be very interesting for our viewers. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.